You've seen the pictures, you've watched the documentaries. You think you're prepared. But let me tell you, when a wild African elephant is just feet from your boat, so close you can see the profound intelligence in its eyes, you realize you didn't know a thing. And when you find the king of the savannah, not on the hunt, but napping in the branches of fig tree, your world shifts. This is the story of how my trip to Uganda became a series of heart-stoppingly close encounters I'll never, ever forget. I had one place circled on my map: Queen Elizabeth National Park, a stunning tapestry of savanna, forest, and wetlands in western Uganda. People call this country the Pearl of Africa, and as I drove past rolling green hills and vibrant villages, I started to get it. The air just feels different there, humming with life. I had two goals. First, cruise the legendary Kazinga Channel, famous for having one of the highest concentrations of wildlife on the continent. Second, venture south to the remote Ishasha sector. It's home to a bizarre and wonderful phenomenon: lions that climb trees. I had a plan and a fantastic guide, but of course the wild doesn't do schedules. I was hoping for a glimpse, maybe a safe, distant photo. What I got was a crash course in how thrilling and unpredictable nature can truly be. First up was the Kazinga Channel, a 32-kilometer natural waterway connecting Lake Edward and Lake George. It's a lifeline, a magnet for animals escaping the afternoon heat. The moment our small boat pushed off, the sheer amount of life was staggering. The banks were mobbed with hundreds of Cape buffalo and pods of hippos, thousands of them, blinked at us with lazy curiosity. Ancient-looking Nile crocodiles slid into the water as we passed. Then we saw them, a herd of elephants, stepping out of the bush to drink. Our guide cut the engine, and we just drifted. They were wary at first, but soon they were all around us. A young bull mock-charged the water, while another sprayed himself with a joyful trunkful of mud. One matriarch strolled right up to the channel's edge, mere meters from our boat, and started drinking. The sound of water being drawn up her trunk, the deep rumble in her chest, that's a sound that sticks with you. This wasn't a zoo. This was their world, and I was just a visitor holding my breath. Riding high from the elephant encounter, we headed south to the Ishasha sector. This part of the park feels wilder, more isolated. And finding the tree-climbing lions? It's no guarantee. In fact, this behavior is incredibly rare, seen reliably in only one other place in Africa. My guide told me why they do it: to get away from biting tsetse flies on the ground, to catch a cool breeze, and to get a bird's eye view for spotting their next meal. But there was a heavier reality to our search. The lion population in Queen Elizabeth National Park has dropped to a critically low number, with only about 40 lions left. They're threatened by poisoning and human-wildlife conflict, so every sighting is a gift. We drove for hours, scanning the sprawling limbs of every giant fig tree. The anticipation was a knot in my stomach. After a few hours of seeing nothing but herds of topi and Uganda cob, you start to think, maybe not today. We decided to check one last spot, a cluster of figs known to be a local favorite. As we rounded a thicket, my guide hit the brakes and whispered, "There." My heart jumped. Draped over a thick branch was a lioness, looking for all the world like a queen, unimpressed by our presence. A few feet above her, a couple of cubs were clumsily trying to get comfortable, their giant paws slipping on the bark. It was surreal. They weren't roaring or hunting. They were just living, using this massive tree as their personal lounge. We sat there for what felt like forever, just watching as one of the cubs finally snuggled up against its mother and settled in. Seeing a lion on the ground is one thing. It's all about raw power. But seeing them in a tree feels different. It's almost mythical. It shows a side of them you don't expect. Their quiet, clever adaptability. There was the earth-shaking power of the elephants on the channel. And then there was this, the serene, silent majesty of lions in the sky. My time in Queen Elizabeth National Park taught me that wildlife isn't just something you look at. It's something you feel. It's the ground vibrating when an elephant walks past. It's the shared silence as you watch a predator that's completely at peace. These moments are still possible thanks to incredible conservation work, though for some species like the lion, their future is fragile. The tourism that supports these parks is absolutely vital for protecting these animals and giving them a fighting chance for generations to come. If this story sparked something in you, I hope you'll follow along for more journeys into the wild. Uganda gave me something far beyond what I expected, a powerful reminder that the best parts of travel are the moments you could never have planned. Subscribe, like, and comment for more. Thank you.